Welcome back to the Barry Charles Footy Show. Yes, moved into the new complex. This will be a work in progress, but this is just a starting off point with my old New South Wales Rugby League jersey in the background with the Knights. And all the big players signed on there, Willie Mason, John Sutton, the likes, some of my favourite players from each team, Jason Taylor from North Sydney Bears, and all over there's so many gun players. Andrew Johns is on the shoot. So some gun players on the shoot. But anyway, let's get to it. Welcome to Barry Charles Footy Show. A new headquarters. We're getting ready to rock and roll and lift and ramp up this channel. Remember to like and subscribe if you like the videos. And let's get to it. What's on today on Barry Charles Footy Show? First of all, DCE. What's happening around him? Is he on tired legs or should he sign a 2 or 3 year deal? Manly are looking to only give him one. We'll see how that works. The Bulldogs injury woes, Matt Burden and the likes, is curtailing their season with kick-out as well. Ponga to play for the Kiwis, what's doing there? Can it actually happen? Warriors and Roosters pulled out almighty upsets. And of the 4 teams at the top of the ladder, the Knights, the Raiders, the Rabbitohs, and the Bulldogs, can any of them make the top 4? We'll talk about that right here on this channel. As well as Jai Gray, should he go to fullback in front of Latrell Mitchell, Brandon Smith to the Rabbitohs, and Galvin, yes, Galvin to Parramatta. Let's hope not, but let's talk about this all right here, right now, at the Barry Charles Footy Show. Let's go. Well, how about that, folks? Yes, Kalyn Ponga. Yes, Kalyn Ponga, all the way to number 1. Yes, all the way to the Kiwis. Well, that is what has been talked about by Phil Buzz Rothfield. And there's been a bit of differing conflicts on this, but Andre Ponga has confirmed that he would like to see Kalyn Ponga play for the Kiwis. Will this happen? If you look at Mal Meninga's comments and Cooper Cronk, they were absolutely disgusted by it. That's how bad they look. That tells you that while Mal Meninga's coach, Kalyn Ponga won't be playing for Australia, that's for sure. Is that why Ponga's going, I need to move because I ain't going to get a game here? And does that mean if he does play for the Kiwis, can he play for Queensland? That is going to be $1 million question going on. But he is playing great footy, Kalyn Ponga, that is for sure. What do I actually think about this? Well, what do I think? In my humble opinion, he should be able to play. Not because I'm a Kiwi or anything like that. This is what I'm going to give you some scenarios just to give you an idea. So if we narrow it down, so let's say someone's born in England, got parents, both parents are Kiwis with a passport, and they move over to Australia when they're 12 years old, and they play all the New South Wales competitions and are selected in all the teams. To me, you're eligible for all 3. Well, you probably are eligible for all 3, but you should be able to pick and choose between. In my opinion, doesn't matter if tier 1, tier 2, because it's been happening for so long for Samoans, Tongans, and the likes get to flip-flop all the time. I mean, it just strengthens Australia and New Zealand. Well, it's to me, just let it all healthily. It's not like this is a big competition here with the Rugby League at the moment, International Rugby League. Even though I like it, the International Rugby League to be the number 1, but there's no doubt NRL is number 1. It's a bit like the NBA. NBA is number 1 for basketball, American football as well. I mean, the competition is bigger than the world stage. But for this, for NRL, for international footy, we would love to see the return of the big games. Yes, the big ones, folks. Wouldn't we love to see an Anzac Test bounce back, have a mid-season break in between? It would be absolutely outstanding. I really do think there's something that they could look at. You can have a competition in the middle of the year and have all like Samoa, Lebanon, USA, all these teams playing, getting more game experience, and they can have a good 4-week period right there. And then they have another 4-week period at the end of the season, play more games, and it just builds and builds the competition and get more. Have USA and Canada play each other, have it from prime time. This is the sort of stuff that the Shaw Philandes is looking at. And they probably need to buy Super League for this to all happen, and I think that's what they need to do, and take over the international game. If they do, rugby league could be pushing up to be one of the best sports in the world. World stage, you know, long way to go behind soccer, and then for the States is basketball and gridiron and baseball. It's a long way behind those. But if they can start putting a footprint in America, which they're trying to do, look out, the league could be taking the world by storm. Yeah, so for me, Ponga should be able to play for the Kiwis. We will see how that one plays out, folks. But it'll be interesting to see what happens there going forward. Yeah, so how do I think that would happen in the international series? Well, if you're going to have an international series with a break in between, we would be going to 20 teams. And they play 20 rounds. And they play home and away. So like a conference system, exactly like the NBA. That's the best way to put it. Just like the NBA. So you have the top 8 from each team's conference playoff. And that's 3 more games. So they played 20 already. So they could take up to 23. And then the grand final between the both top, whoever's the top 2 after the first 3 weeks from each conference playoff for the ultimate like Super Bowl victory. And that's the NRL Championship. So that's what will happen. So 24, so that cuts the season down by about 6 weeks. So you could have the competition in the middle of the season and at the end. And whether it's a 3-week competition and then 3 weeks at the end, something like that, at least it would be better than what we got at the moment. A pitiful competition with 86 teams playing. Like, why haven't we got 8 teams playing? Like, seriously, why do they have to have a bye? It's not like they need it. The should be 4 teams playing. No one's sitting out. It's just madness how they run their competition at the moment. Let's hope they get onto it and really push to get the footy back on. But yes, it'll be interesting to see if that happens. But we've got a long way to go. With PNG, say a Perth team and hopefully another New Zealand team would make the 20. That'd be great to see for mine. But we will see how that rock and roll is going into the future. But let me know in the comments if you disagree with what I think about Ponga and being able to play for the Kiwis. I think he well and truly deserves his opportunity to play for the Kiwis. Well, speaking of Kiwis, the Warriors, to me, should be putting Roger at fullback. And maybe even Ponga long-term might sign with the Warriors if he is really much about the Kiwi thing and wanting to win a title. Wow. Wouldn't that be a story if that happened? For Warriors fans, you'll be hoping so. Especially with Dylan Brown taking all their money in the camp. Maybe if Ponga moved on and come to the Warriors, look out, big times ahead. But that is probably a pipe dream. But getting back to fullbacks in 2025, yes, for the Warriors, as I've been saying each and every week, and even last year, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck is the best, in my opinion, the best fullback at the club. But it seems like Charles Nicoll-Klokstad, who had a good game, is ahead of him. Well, we're not ahead of him, he's just been picked. But as we're going to start to do more on this channel, as we're going to talk about comments from you, from the people out there on the YouTube. So, yes, we're going to start off with the first YouTube comment. Yes. From Jacko here, 1878, talks about the fullback situation. Charles Nicoll-Klokstad had a very good game. This is talking about round 2, folks. But I think Tuapiki has the speed, footwork, and elusiveness to be a real threat when DWZ returns. So this is what, but he believes that overall that Webster will keep Charles Nicoll-Klokstad at fullback, which I totally agree with. The do I see DWZ coming in? You move Charles Nicoll-Klokstad to the centres and put Tuapiki or Roger at fullback, or put Tuapiki at fullback and Roger there. Does this strengthen the team? Potentially. But this is what my feedback from this comment is about Tuapiki himself. I believe he has the attacking flair to be a good fullback. But the question mark is going to be defence week in, week out. Can he handle that and be the big star? And the only way to do it is to be given that opportunity. But there are so many players that have not been given that opportunity over the years. They get a couple of games, and that is the end of the penny section. I'm just looking at just current, not too long ago players that have gone through the same situation. Look at Tyrell Sloan. He's struggling to make ends meet. Lucky to even make the Dragons team at the moment because he has all the attacking flair, but he can't get the fullback job. Matt Duffy, more of a player that was good attacking wise, but defensively not good enough. And Tristan Saylor, a similar boat as well, and had to move to the Super League to get game time. And there's countless other ones. Trey Fuller as well, another one in the same sort of boat. So, and I put Tuapiki in that sort of vote for mine. I think he's a handy backup player, and that's why he's re-signed. But I just don't see him being the fullback at all. I think his best chance is to play wing. But if you're going to pay DWC to Roger at the wing, he's going to be playing. He's going to be playing most of the New South Wales Cup, unfortunately, especially when DWZ is back. And to be honest, Charles Nickel-Cox said he had a good game. He really did, and he will be the fullback going forward. But to me, I think Roger is the best fullback at the club. And if you put him there, they are top four. I wouldn't say certainly, but they would have a better chance of making the top four, in my opinion, with his talk. But we will see, because I like Charles Nickel-Cox as a person. Don't get me wrong, he's a good player. But I think he's a good player, and Roger is a great player. That's the difference, folks. Roger is a great player. He's up with the top 5 fullbacks in the combat as best, where Charles Nickel-Cox is in the top 12. That's just been brutally honest. But for whatever reason, Webster is not going that way. Don't ask me why. To me, it doesn't seem. I mean, he's doing well, but I just don't see them winning the cup with Charles Nickel-Cox there at fullback. The teams that are winning the competition have the best fullbacks in the game, and Roger is the best fullback in the Warriors, in my opinion, and that's why they need them. If Roger was playing fullback, yeah, so we will see how this goes. But yeah, I think Roger needs to be the fullback. Whether it happens, I don't know, but he may get it if the Warriors do not perform. But it's good to see the Warriors win. That is for sure. So thank you for the comments. Let's bring them on home. I've had a lot of comments over the times, and it's time for me to bring you into the game. So thank you very much, Jacko here, and we will have I try each and every week to have some comments to talk about. So leave more comments, folks, and we'll get rocking and rolling. So yeah, let's get on to DCE. What's happening there, folks, with DCE? Is old age getting to him? Father Time saying it's time to hang up the boots. Well, from what I was hearing, it was time for him to retire, sit out to the sunset, and maybe there's still an option here. But really, do you want to give up $1 million? I think if he wanted to stay in rugby league and get paid $1 million, Dolphins would give him that for 2-3 years. I really do think so. If he wants, he could stay in Manly, but he's probably going to have to take half that sort of money. Would you leave that on the table? Yeah, that's the big question. Obviously, I think going to the Dolphins, would you win a premiership? No. You could argue maybe with Qatar there, Jerry Marshall King, but do they have the forward pack? Not Dad's Army, and they probably need to add a couple more to the forward pack to really say they're a chance. Overall, they sort of got a team that could do well, but they're just missing their missing piece, and DCE could be their missing piece. Yeah. To me, for DCE, he really gets injured. If he can continue to make this money, he's not going to make this money retire. Don't get even if you're in the media, you would not be getting that sort of money. He needs to continue to play as long as he can, if he can. And potentially, he's got to play 4 more years of footy. It's still a long time ago. But if he played 4 more years of footy, he would take over as Cameron Smith 430 games. He's on 331, so he's got 99 to go. So, can he do it? He pretty much has to be injury-free, and you have to give up the Queensland origin to do that. And would you want to have that sort of record-breaking history in your game? Potentially, that would be the driving force for him to continue to play, I would think. We will see if that happens, but you're sad to see him not stay in Manly. But at the end of the day, money talks. If they can't afford him, I mean, I'm sure they could afford him $1 million, but they don't want to pay that because they can see themselves winning the premiership, like what the Broncos are trying to do with Ben Hunt and Adam Reynolds, way unders for what they should be getting paid. But yes, for me, yes, it's going to be interesting how that goes going forward. But DCE is a gun, no doubt about it. Yes, but if DCE was to go, who Manly got? They let go of Humphreys. So question marks over their selection process there, how that is going forward. But DCE to me is the one. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. Could there be a opportunity to really blow the water out here and DCE goes to the Knights? And I have Ponga and DCE playing for less. Ponga, Brown, and what a spine that would be. That could be something they could look at potentially, or Phoenix Crossland. But I don't think you'll be getting the money at the Knights. I'd say you would stay at Manly for that sort of reason, because they're guaranteed Kalen Ponga will stay. But yeah, money talks though, and that will be what is happening there. But anyway, let's move on to the Roosters. Yes, the Sydney Roosters. What a win. Absolutely unbelievable. Tedesco's back, baby. Well, he hasn't really been gone. He was playing good footy last week. So, expect a lot from them in the footy. But to me, it's the sort of year. Penrith always continue to struggle early on. They've always have shown it. But come around round 5 and 6, they start to get rocking and rolling a bit. So I wouldn't be too concerned with Penrith losing. Rugby league is the bounce back game, baby, and there's some work to be done there. But what do I think about the Roosters? I have Roosters still to make the top 8. That's what my selection was. Do I think they will make the top 8? On what I've seen so far, maybe not. Even though you said they'd be Penrith, yes, but this is early on. But I mean, I still have them to make the top 8. We'll see. But you got the Raiders, the Knights. Really have pushed in, putting the pressure on the Roosters to make it. Now they can continue their form. That's why the Roosters won't make it. But I still think they're a chance of doing the damage. So we've got 4 on top of the ladder, folks. The Bulldogs, the Raiders, the Knights, and the Rabbits. Now, who do I think is the number 1 pick there? Who should get selected? Who should be the one going forward to maybe be in the top 4? Well, I was trying to break it down on what I think. Rabbitohs, I seriously doubt it. They're doing well above what they should be doing in terms of what they got. And they shows you how good a coach Wayne Bennett is. I think they potentially can make the top 8. I didn't pick them for the top 8, but Rabbitohs are definitely trending towards that. But another couple of injuries there, it would be crucifying for them. Knights, obviously, clearly Ponga. If Ponga stays fit, top 4 is a big chance. The Raiders, inexperience might get them later in the season, but we will see. And the Bulldogs, injury concerns for mine in terms of the top 4 finish, but I expect them to make the top 8. So who do I think is the most likely to make the top 4? If you're going on performances so far, you would say the Raiders. A clear mile, they would be the best team out of these 4 currently. But who can lift? I think the Knights can lift. I think Knights have been winning, but haven't played to their potential. And it's been all Ponga. But if they get a more of a team effort out of this, I think you'll see a lot more great rugby league football, just from what I've seen out there. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes going forward. But I'd say out of the 4, I think you'll only probably see 2 in the top 8, maybe 3. We will see. I could be pretty wrong, and all 4 of them are there. But as you got to remember, folks, you wait till round 8 before you start thinking of who is going to win this competition, because it's still the history of the game. You've got to win 4 of your first 8 games to be a chance to win the premiership. Rules are meant to be broken, absolutely, but it's very tough to win from 7 to 8 in this day and age. You can a couple of teams have made the grand final. I think the Cowboys and Parramatta have done it from a low point, but they haven't been able to win the big dance, and it will continue to be like that going forward. So yes, but with those 4 teams, they're halfway there to have a chance. Only got to win 2 out of the next 6 to be a chance of winning the comp. So exciting times for your team there if you're part of the team. Bulldogs got injury concerns, obviously, folks. So Kikau hopefully not out super long. You don't want him to be a season-ending injury. They're keeping that a little bit coy. So we will see how that one goes. Jai Gray, should he be fullback when Latrell Mitchell? Absolutely. The only question mark is I have the same with Tuapiki. Can Jai Gray handle the defensive load for the whole season? Because that's the big question on him. Latrell Mitchell, there is no doubt in my mind Latrell Mitchell is a gun. He's a gun player, but he's a gun centre. I just don't think he's fit enough for fullback in this day and age. You've got to be fit. Just the way they play the game. I know he can be outstanding at fullback at times, but I just don't think he's fit enough, and he just struggles with the workload. So I'll be putting him at centre for mine for the rest of his career if it was me making the selection there. Brandon Smith to the Rabbitohs, folks. Yes, that is the talk mid-season. It could be a genius buy, it could be an absolute joke buy. Because generally with an injury like that, it takes them 6 months, 12 months to get back to their best. And to me, it's a big gamble. But if it could be one of the buys of the year. If the Rabbitohs are somehow flying high and still get fourth, you add him in there to take over for Cameron Murray. He'll be a different type of player, but he will absolutely do a job. And if he can get himself fit enough, look out, the Rabbitohs could be an absolute boil over to win the competition overall. We will see how that one fits going forward. And yes, lastly, Lachlan Galvin to the to the Eels. Hell no! Now, can it happen? Yes. Seriously, he has played his juniors there. I grew up liking the Eels. Big test for Benji Marshall, but I think the biggest thing is they need to win football games. And there was an outstanding one smashing the Eels. That's good, but they got to continue the Tigers. They can't just win this one and not win. If they can win 4 out of their first 8, the Tigers, Lachlan Galvin potentially stay. Pretty much. If they make the top 8, Lachlan Galvin stays. If they drop to 15th, well, say they're below 12th, then he probably goes. But if they can get close to the top 8, at least maybe 10, then I think there's a big chance he'll stay. But if they're nearly wooden spooners again, Lachlan Galvin will be out the door. He knows that this club is rubbish, even with Luai. I don't think they'll get that low, but they're probably not going to get much higher. Do I see them making the top 8? I don't, but then we will see, because the Eels were pretty bad to really give you an honest opinion. Anyway, that's the Barry Charles Footy Show for this episode. I hope you liked it. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back with another video as we preview the games going forward into round 3. Have an awesome day out there.